I'm doing a Metal Gear series ranking. So I'm going to be ranking all the Metal Gear games that I have ever played. All right. And so these are going to be based off of my opinion. It's not going to be objective or what's the best made game. It's going to be just how much I enjoyed the game. Just, I'm going to throw that out there. It's just completely subjective. So if you have a differing opinion, that is perfectly fine. Just, this is mine. And so, starting off with all the games I've not played, I'm just going to get those off the table. I've not played the original Metal Gear. I've not played the second Metal Gear. Snake's Revenge. I'm a be real. I don't even know what that one is. I believe that one's Twin Snakes. Not played that. I've played three. Let's see. Peace Walker, Ground Zeroes, Phantom Pain. I've not played this one. I've not played that one. Never played Acids or Survive. So I have only really played these. And I am halfway through Phantom Pain right now, and I've beaten all the others. So yeah, so I narrowed out more than half of this tier list already. All right, so number one for the original Metal Gear Solid, bro. Oh, this game was just amazing. Like this game is what got me into the franchise. Like I saw, I think I saw like Jacksepticeye say something about it on a stream like years ago, and I wanted to play it ever since then. And I finally got a PlayStation 1. I got my hands on it, and it was just insanely fun. Like instant S tier, probably a top three of the Metal Gear games for me. And that's considering I only got halfway into the game before my save file got lost because my PlayStation gave out on me. So even only playing halfway through the game, I would consider it one of my favorite games of all time. It is just actually insane how good this game does for when it came out. Um, let's see. Metal Gear Solid 2. I'm gonna be real. Like the game, the first half where you play as Snake in the tanker, that was probably some of my favorite gameplay in all of the Metal Gear franchise. Like total, like that's probably one of my favorite parts. But after that, when it gets to when you play as Raiden, the big shell just starts to get a little boring. But the story was just insanely good. It's probably my favorite story of any Metal Gear game that I've played. And I don't want it to seem like I'm only going to be picking S for this tier list, but like it's just an amazing game. Seriously. Um Metal Gear Solid 3. Okay. So I have an unpopular opinion when it comes to Metal Gear Solid 3. I think that it is one of the most overhyped games I have ever played. I expected it to be just amazing, but I was more frustrated than anything playing it. I mean, it's not a bad. I don't think it's a bad game. I think it's an amazing game. I'd put it in A tier, but I expected this game to be life changing when I played it, and it just really wasn't. I didn't like the camouflage mechanic of it, and I felt like most the boss fights I liked. I liked the Sorrow. I liked the B guy. I forgot what his name is, and the boss. The boss was an insane boss fight. That's one of my favorite boss fights in the franchise. But just like I don't know, I felt like the gameplay was not as good as the first one, and I feel like the story wasn't as good as the second one. So I don't know. It was the first one lacked in some areas and the second one lacked in some areas, and I feel like the third one just evened them out, but not in a good way. And the camouflage mechanic just I wasn't a fan. I really wasn't. But Metal Gear Solid 4, dude, this game yeah, it's a I'm considering even putting it in C tier just because there isn't much gameplay. There's legitimately not much gameplay, and on top of that, you know what? I'm putting it in C. There's not even much stealth in the game. The bosses are all lame. Like, let's see, you got Laughing Octopus. Does anyone remember Laughing Octopus? And like, I take that back. Laughing at Octopus was the one good boss in the game that wasn't Metal Gear Ray and Liquid Ocelot. I think that it just all in all has some of the weakest bosses in the franchise, and it's more of a movie than anything. I'm not a fan of the movie aspect. If I want to sit down and play a game, I want to play a game, and I don't really want to watch a super long cutscene. And I can manage with two and three because at least their cutscenes are super interesting. These kind of feel like drawn out, if you know what I mean. If you play the game, you'll understand what I mean when I say it's drawn out. And the ending where Big Boss comes back, I, I felt like that was a cheap way out. Not a big fan of that. Okay, Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. I think that the story is much better in Peace Walker. I'd say Peace Walker has one of the better stories. I would say that perhaps even it has a better story than the first one. But just the bosses, dude. Like, there's that one fight near the beginning where you're in the tank or you're fighting the tank and you have to hide behind the train cars. Dude, that killed me so many times, and the train cars just kept falling over on me. Just so frustrating. And I like how they were doing something new with the boss fights and how they were kind of like Monster Hunter esque, but it kind of wasn't that fun. Especially like it's 2024. I was playing this like uh, alone on a PlayStation 3, and I don't have online people to play with, and it kind of made all the vehicle fights difficult. And but I did like the Peace Walkers and the I forgot what they call them, like the Chrysalis and Pupas. Those fights were actually cool and unique, but the vehicle fights were just very lame, very very lame. I'd say it's a solid B tier, but I could understand if you move it to A. Ground Zeroes, dude. So I'm playing all of these games in order. So I started with one, I went to two, three, four, five, etc. But and I've only been playing Metal Gear for like a month now. And after I got to four, I got super burnt out. When I got to Ground Zeroes, like I was just ready to go back into a fun Metal Gear game again. Like I only took 62 minutes to beat the Ground Zeroes mission. I didn't 100% it or anything. I just did the main story and called it quits on there. But it was that mission. I would put it up there with the tanker section of Metal Gear Solid 2 as one of my favorite sections in any Metal Gear game. It probably is a number two right behind that tanker section. It's just so fun. So fun. My only complaint is that it only lasted 62 minutes. And that cutscene at the end with pause is just awesome. Phantom Pain. So, like I said in the beginning, I am halfway through the game right now, I think. I just completed mission 27, 28, something like that. Uh, and I I really like the game. I love it. It's really fun. It doesn't feel like a Metal Gear game, really, but I really do enjoy it. I'm in between putting it B or A. Uh, right now, I'm actually starting to get a little bit, you know, tired of it because it does have so much longer play time than all the other games. Like Metal Gear Solid, that takes about 10 hours. 2 takes about 13. 3 takes about 16. Peace Walker took me 16. 4 took me about 22 hours. I'm already at like the 24-hour mark in this, and I'm only halfway through. And it's kind of starting to get stale on me. But That might just be because of my fatigue from playing every game in the franchise back to back, so I'm not gonna count too much off on that. I think I'm gonna put it in A tier just because it's awesome. Like, the movement in it is probably the best in any third-person shooter I have ever played. It is just amazing, and the sneaking of it is so much better, and it fixes all my complaints that I had with 4, where there's not really much, tactical espionage, and it's more like shooting, but, I really love it. Then Metal Gear Rising. This game I beat the game in about 5 hours, I think. And it's just awesome, dude. Like it's I don't know how to describe it, but just metal. Like Jetstream Sam is one of the coolest boss fights in any video game I have ever played. I I would possibly put it above the original Metal Gear for me. Should I? Should I? I think I'm going to, just because it's so unique. I mean, they're super close. They can be interchanged, like, and they change based on the day. But it's just amazing. I have nothing else to say. The story is a bit lackluster, but just the sick music that plays, the boss fights, how you got to learn from each fight. When you die, you get back and you know how to fight them now. It's I've never played a game like that. And hold up, let me rank these in tier order. So I would agree Metal Gear Rising is probably my favorite as of right now. Then Original Solid, then Solid 2. I would say that I agree with A. Let's see. Metal Gear Solid 3, Ground Zeroes, Phantom Pain. I would put Phantom Pain above Ground Zeroes for now. But they're basically the same game. Just because Ground Zeroes are so short. I enjoyed my time in Ground Zeroes a little bit more, but like I said, it's only an hour. So I can't put it better than a 40-hour game. And then yeah, Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker and Metal Gear Solid 4. And when I'm done with 5, I believe I'm going to go back and play Portable Ops. I believe that's the one for the PlayStation Portable. I have that coming in and it should be here in like a week, and I'm excited to play it. So yeah, that is my Metal Gear Solid tier list.